Okay, it's 6 o'clock, and I'll call the meeting to order. Kevin, would you call the, oh, I'm sorry. Rob, would you call the roll, please? Giving him extra duties.
Mr. Hannah.
Here.
Mr. Avery.
Here.
Mr. Whitaker.
Here.
Mr. Bear.
Here.
Mrs. Sweet.
Here.
Ms. Least.
Here.
All members of council are present, so please join me in pledging allegiance to our flag.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And good evening, everyone. This is the regular session of the Enon Village Council, and this is Tuesday, April 9th, 2024. Additions to our agenda from council this evening. Okay, hearing none, let's go into the minutes. And this would have been from the Tuesday, March 26, 2024 meeting. If there are no corrections or additions, deletions, any of that stuff, I'd entertain a motion to approve those minutes as presented.
So moved. A second.
And call a roll, please.
Mr. Avery.
Yes.
Mr. Whitaker.
Yes.
Mr. Bear.
Abstain.
Mrs. Sweet.
Yes.
Ms. Least.
Yes.
Mr. Hannah.
Yes.
Okay, those are approved as presented. We'll go into the financial report. And Rob, I will turn this one over to you.
Sure. I emailed interim financial reports out last week with the caveat that we do not have all of our financial statements in for the month of March yet. And in doing that, we think we have one lost in the mail, so I applied to get online access to it, and it turns out that we have not updated our signature stuff with them since 2013. So we're in the process of getting some more access to one of the investment accounts. So you will hopefully have that in short order. So one note, since last meeting, we did get our real estate property settlement for the first half of 2023 in, and our amounts are for the general fund, $96,731.60, and our police levies brought in $179,053.29. And one other little bright spot is that we do assess properties for mowing needs that haven't been done, and that brought in a surprising $6,541.58 that we were not expecting. So,
Wow.
Wow.
We did a lot of mowing for properties last year.
And clean it up, yeah.
And unfortunately, some people will allow us to do that. They
Yeah.
will have us do it and have us do the assessment because it's more of a convenience for them to allow us to do it than to hire somebody.
so
Thank you for that, Rob.
that's the financial report. We did receive something from the State Department of Commerce. Annually, the liquor permits are renewed, and the municipalities that cover those areas have the right to object to any establishment that has one before May 2nd. So that is with the mayor, but if anyone has any concerns about any establishment.
Mike, did you get one of those notices as well? Usually they send it to the police department and to the mayor's office. Well, in any case, let's make sure if we've got any issues that I guess we would have until, when was the date again, Rob?
Be postmarked by the 2nd of May,
Okay, I'm not aware of any, but
and it has to
Okay.
be done by legislative resolution. So,
gotcha. Okay.
and that ends my report, unless there are any questions for me.
Any questions?
Hold on a second. No, I'm good.
Okay. Thanks, Rob. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Communications, I want to talk a little bit about the Planning Commission. We had a follow-up meeting this afternoon regarding our Planning Commission case. This was 24-02 for Walter and Sherry Atkins for rezoning a 307 Coronado Trail from an R2 to an R5, which would be single-family residential to two-family. After much discussion and opinions from our village attorney, the request to rezone was denied by the Planning Commission, a vote of 5-0. And I know, Kevin, there has to be a public hearing set before the Enon Village Council, correct? And then they will take any I guess, questions or comments. And then at some point in time, I believe within 30 days, then there has to be some type of a vote by the council.
Correct.
Okay, so I will leave that up to you. I'm assuming that has to be posted in the newspaper.
Yes.
Published, so I will leave that up to you to coordinate. And typically, we try to do that like right before a council meeting. We make that the first thing on our agenda for a meeting.
Okay.
So if that sounds reasonable to you guys.
Can I ask a question?
Absolutely.
What's the vote supposed to be for either way?
So if I remember right, it takes 5 votes to overturn the decision of the planning commission.
So this is basically like the BZA case a few times ago where no matter what the decision was of the planning commission, that it's ultimately up to us. Is that correct?
The council can overrule or modify with, but it does take 5 votes to do that.
Okay.
I have one more question.
Sure.
Obviously, I need to abstain from voting on that.
Yes.
And there are 2 other people on council that are within that area.
Yes.
So did you look into that?
Working on an opinion on that.
Thank you.
Yes, you're welcome. Any other questions or comments? Okay. And let's go into staff reports. Kevin, I'll turn it over to you.
Thank you, Mayor, Council, residents. I just want to first say that you had a wonderful eclipse yesterday.
Yes.
Beautiful. I tell you, that was spectacular. So, and from what I've seen and heard, it was quiet. Nothing happening in the village, and so hey, it turned out great. So.
It wasn't quiet. There were quite a few fireworks that went off during the eclipse.
Yeah. Hey. But anyhow.
And lots of oohs and ahs. Yeah, lots of oohs and ahs.
The mayor's mayor court report in front of you for the, like I said, the month of March. There were 18 traffic cases, 1 criminal case. Total funds received for the current month, $3,730. Year to date, $8,142. Total remitted to the state, $704. Current month and year to date, $1,351.50. Total remitted to the village for the current month, $2,999. Year to date, $6,738. And then total dispersed, $3,730. And year to date, $8,142.
I'll move that we accept the mayor's court report as presented.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Call the roll, please.
Mr. Whitaker,
Yes.
Mr. Barrett,
Yes.
Mrs. Sweet,
Yes.
Ms. Least,
Yes.
Mr. Hannah,
Yes.
Mr. Avery.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Item number 2, the wastewater project, just an update. The contract's been signed. That project, once again, is supposed to start the first week of May. Barring any unforeseen circumstances, the contractor is dealing with ODOT right now. They want a better traffic plan submitted to ODOT, so they are working fervently on that right now. So I'll keep you updated on that. But as of right now, it's subject to start the first week of May.
Kevin, I have a question on that.
Yes.
Are they still looking to be finished by like the end of May?
30 days, he said.
30 days.
30
Okay.
days. So, I mean, the contract goes till, I think, June, the end of June, something like that.
Right.
But yeah, he said 30 days.
Is there any open cuts on that, or is that all directional bore?
That's all directional bore as of right now.
Except for the manholes, obviously.
Right.
Okay.
Right, yep.
Good deal.
Yep. In your packet, there's a letter to all the residents. It's going to be sent out along with information. On the back is a flyer and as well as a survey. This is a water, lead and copper rule survey that's mandated by Ohio EPA. They want us to identify the service lines going into the house, like into the crawl space, into the basement, to verify that they're either plastic, copper, galvanized, lead, no lead, stuff like that. So, and it's like I said, it's mandated, so we're going to see how this goes. I mean, I know a lot of people don't like surveys, but we're going to try this. And this was one of their ideas, send out a letter, flyer, survey, just a quick survey. These will be sent out May 1st. I'm giving the residents till June 3rd, like 30 days. see what kind of response we get, and then if not, we'll have to discuss this another way to do it.
One of the most challenging mandates from the EPA I've ever seen, and I've been in the business a long time, but to go to every single service, to every single building, residence, business that you have on your public water supply to perform this inspection, I don't know how larger communities would ever handle that. How would places like Columbus and Dayton do it? Fortunately, and hopefully we'll get a good response
Yeah.
that our residents, but just,
it's unreal.
It is. So,
And it's just,
Just a side note.
six, 7 questions that they have to answer, and they'll get this in the mail along with a self-addressed stamped envelope to send it back if they want to. They can scan it and email it to me. There's on the back of this survey. They can drop it off at the government center here. But like I said, we'll see what kind of response we get. We're hoping that everybody participates and we can get the majority of it done the first time around, and the EPA will be happy about it. So
Okay, this goes to all the water customers, correct?
yes.
There are a few yet in our community who are still on well water. Are they asking for them to?
Not that I'm aware of. This is
Okay, I
water.
was just wondering.
Yeah. So that'll be going out May 1st, or hopefully get to them by May 1st, so they have 30 days. So please spread the word and let them know it's harmless and they don't have to sign any names. Just put their address, and because that's what I guess they have to put their name down just for the account information. So the EPA we can turn all that information, compile it, and turn it into them. So.
They don't want our social security number.
No social security numbers, nothing like that, no. I know that won't fly. Clark, another flyer there in your packet. I'll put this on Facebook and the webpage. I know I did that last year as well. The Clark County Solid Waste District has some different cleanup programs continuing this year. So I'll throw that on the social media as well. But I just wanted to let you guys know about that. Earth Day is Monday, April 22nd, and Jeannie from CPEX, their crew, has stepped up once again this year, and they are going to plant vegetation, flowers, bushes at the entrance signs that we put up coming into town. So they're going to do that. I've got to get a schedule when they're going to do that. But she called Meadow Growers,
Wow.
and going to talk to them about some small bushes and flowers and greenery that comes up every year. So that'll be exciting. I really appreciate them doing that. So I'm thinking they're hoping to have it up before April 22nd, but we'll see. The blood drive, once again, is this Wednesday, 1 to 6. If anybody's interested, I don't know how many slots they have open yet, but that's donortime.com if anybody's interested to do the blood drive. Usually we have a great turnout for that. So that'll be this Wednesday.
Next Wednesday.
Yes, next Wednesday. I'm sorry. And I think that's all I have for now.
Questions for our administrator? Thanks, Kevin.
Thank you.
Good report.
Can I make a comment? Actually, it reminded me, there's been a ice cream truck going through the community that's not permitted, so if anyone sees it, call the police department, please.
Yes.
Thank
And
you.
this little map, that's for the presentation down later, so I'll
Gotcha.
introduce that then.
Okay. Chief, good evening.
Good evening, Mayor, Council, and residents. Passed out the March stats there for PD, the monthly stats, everything pretty much online. Did have a little bit of an uptick there the second week. I'm not really sure what that was about, but it went back down. That was just as far as stops and arrests and stuff. Post-eclipse yesterday turned out great. We spent a lot of years with the EMA and other emergency responders preparing for what everybody saw in Tennessee, and we didn't see that. In fact, I believe the population in the community was a little lower yesterday than it normally was. So I appreciate all the residents staying off the roads and keeping everything going. I did hear the fireworks, but I was also busy looking at the eclipse, so a very beautiful thing I've never
Did we
seen.
see any increased traffic at all during any of that, Mike?
No, it was actually some of the slowest traffic I've seen in my time here.
Was there a lot of people at the park? Did people congregate down there? Or
It
did
was a
anybody-
good little turnout down there on Enon Park, and there's a handful of people down at Galloway. I saw a lot of people sitting in their front yard, just like everybody else.
Yeah.
Awful lot of fire and EMS, the fire department, which was good.
Good.
But I thought it was amazing. So, Officer Statesman went to alert training. He completed his level 1 active shooter response last week, Thursday and Friday. It's a 2-day course. I'll try to send everybody to that. It's hosted annually, sometimes a couple times a year. So that's
Where's that held, Mike?
this one was held at Wittenberg University.
Good deal.
Myself and a handful of people are instructors as sheriff's office, but I know Lieutenant Barnhart generally sets it up, communicates with Alert down in Texas, and they send out email. It's free. It's a good training. Signed a parade permit for the Memorial Day Parade for the 26th at 2 p.m., which I will comment again as we get closer to that. I just wanted to mention that. And then we have our annual drug take back day is Saturday, September 27th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. That's this month. That is the one we actively participate with the DEA, and then we take our collected RX prescriptions and ship that off to them for free disposal and destruction.
What'd you say the day was for that?
That is April 27th. It's a Saturday.
Okay.
It's on the website.
It's like the 22nd's a Monday.
No, 27th.
27th.
Oh,
27th.
27th. Okay.
And
Yes.
did you say a time?
It's 10 a.m. to 2 p.m.
10 to 2,
That's
thanks.
correct. And then just walk in the front door like they do through the week. The door will be unlocked, and they just deposit them in the drop box there. And I believe the administrator has that posted on our website and Facebook page.
Good.
That concludes my report.
Short and
Short
sweet.
and sweet.
Questions for our chief this evening? Okay, thanks, Mike.
Thanks, Mike.
Any committee reports at all? Okay, let's go into new business. And you know what? I have one thing to add to new business. Kevin, congratulations. 5 years of service to the village. We appreciate that. Goes by fast, doesn't it?
Goes by fast, yes it does. Yes it does.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
So in accordance with our new compensation policy, I would like to make a motion to pay Mr. Seifert for 5 years of continuous service to the village of Enon, and I believe that amount is $1,500. And I would need a motion and a
So
second.
moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded, and call the roll, please.
Mr. Whitaker,
Yes.
Mr. Bear,
Yeah.
Mrs. Sweet,
Yes.
Ms. Least,
Yes.
Mr. Hannah,
Yes.
Mr. Avery.
Yes.
Thanks, Rick. Congratulations again, Kevin.
Thank you. Looking for another 5 years.
And you'll get another one.
Good luck with that one.
Goes faster.
So the second motion I would like to make has to pertain to our part-time employees. If you remember last year, I asked council to approve 1 week's paid vacation or leave for our part-timers that had at least 1 year of service. The summer's coming up, and I would like to make another motion to provide the following part-time employees 1 week paid leave based upon their average hours worked per week and to be used in 2024 and not to be cashed in. I've got this written down, by the way. Okay. Steve Durrell, Tom Tyree, Tom Werrick, when his second anniversary comes up, Kevin, and that would be on September 12th. At that point, he would be entitled. But this is basically the same motion that I made last year, and this is something that we can, do for our part-time employees and give them some time off of pay.
There'll be 3 of them, is that correct?
3.
Is that what I got?
Yes.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
I don't know. That was a lot.
Let's just all second.
Yeah, let's
Whatever
just
you
go-
want, Rob.
Whatever you want, Rob.
Dealer's choice.
You got the pen.
And call the roll, please.
Mr. Bear,
Yes.
Mrs. Sweet,
Yes.
Ms. Least,
Yes.
Mr. Hannah,
Yes.
Mr. Avery,
Yes.
Mr. Whitaker.
Yes.
So we do have an executive session tonight to discuss some employment and compensation matters. But before we do that, we do have a resident that has asked to be put on the agenda. And this is Megan, help me out with the last name. Zecker, I knew that. And Megan, if you want to come forward and address the council, and you have 5 minutes.
Hello, thanks for having me.
Welcome.
My husband, Richard, and I moved to Enon. We bought a house in January. We moved here from Maine, but I grew up in Piqua, so I'm from the area. We bought a property at 205 Sunnybrook Trail, which backs up to the Mud Run Creek. And we've realized that most of the properties on that street own the property to the creek and a little bit beyond the creek, except for our property and I believe 3 houses next to us, which only own the property to about a half acre. And then there's another half acre from our property line across the creek that's owned by the village. So we would like to request to purchase the rest of the property behind our house so that it aligns to the neighbors to the left of us. I have the parcel number, if that's helpful. Probably doesn't mean anything to you guys, but the parcel, the total parcel is 4.3 acres, and from the Clark County website, that is a value of $43,300, so $10,000 per acre. So I would propose if we could purchase approximately half an acre for the same rate, so $5,000 to the village of Enon.
And I'm going to switch over to Kevin here. You provided us with an aerial.
Yep.
Kevin, if you want to.
That's what this is, okay.
Yeah. That's the property.
Yes. So what you have in front of you, I was gonna put it on the screen, but the PDF wouldn't come up. But what you have in front of you is that's the subject parcel that she's talking about. These black dots are where our water valve is.
Oh,
And then
okay.
in the shaded area on the parcel that she's talking about, that black dot is where the fire hydrant is.
Oh.
Gotcha.
So I'll show you. There's the valve, water valve here, and a fire hydrant there. So I talked to Jason about it, and being that the fire hydrant is in there, I don't know if it's in the best interest to sell that portion across the creek. We still have a right-of-way, utility right-of-way between Mr. Wazak's house and their house at 205. There's a utility right-of-way there that we would still, if that property is sold at the back, there still needs to be that utility right-of-way to the creek, actually. There's like a waterway there that has a drainage tile.
Which is currently on our existing property.
Yes. So, but like I said, the selling of the section beyond the creek, Jason and I was not really for that just because of the water line going across there and the hydrant there, so. But that's totally up to you guys.
What's the backstory of why these were split out like that? Anyway, is there a reason why those 3 lots right there don't have the same uniformity as everything further east?
So at one point in time, it was my understanding when it was developed, some of the property owners had the opportunity to purchase across the creek, but not everybody took advantage of that. When we came along to run the water line down that way, we purchased what was available from, I think the man's name was Fred.
Ray Burnett.
Fred Wise was his name. He had purchased that, and that's what was kind of left, Jeremy, so that was put in as one, believe it or not, I think that has one parcel number, what we own right there, Kevin, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
So that odd shaped thing is where the water line comes across from the tank, crosses the creek, and then runs along the north side of Mud Run. And that's just what the parcel was that was, pretty much left.
Now, that was also an area where we had talked about trying to use some of that land as far as for a park or a meadow back there. So if anybody would want to see that at some point, let me know. We can take the gator back there and I can show you where we're talking of.
But you're talking on the south side of Mud Run.
There, primarily it's on the south side of Mud Run, but there's also, if you see a little bit of easement there, particularly along Galloway Park now, that they've cleaned out a little bit with the backhoe.
Right.
So you've got that, basically an entrance and egress there on the north side of the creek to service the water lines, I think, isn't it?
Megan, if it's the consensus of the council, let us kind of study this a little bit and kind of ponder the pros and cons of what you're asking before we, obviously, you're not expecting a decision tonight, but,
No.
but
If I could just add
Sure.
2 more just things for you guys to consider. Item 1 is the plan for the property that if we purchased it would be to turn it into a large garden that could potentially become a community garden. I'm a big gardener and had a huge garden in Maine, so it's already being used as that. And the property to the right of us with the other neighbors is just kind of an empty green space, but I've already started turning it into a garden because when we purchased it, there was already a kind of forgotten garden there. The other thing I would add is if we don't purchase this, or if you choose not to purchase this, there is a tree house built on that property at the back of our property in a tree that's not safe, that has stairs going up to it. So if the city retains the property, I'd appreciate if that could be taken down so my nephew doesn't fall to his death on it.
yes.
If we purchase it, we'll fix it.
When did y'all purchase that?
Huh?
When did y'all purchase that property?
In January.
Okay. You know about water issues there, the possible flooding area back there too.
I mean, we had to purchase flood insurance, but no issues so far.
Formerly lived on Sunnybrook, so yeah.
Yeah. Are we gonna have a flood?
Any other questions? Megan, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Megan.
Appreciate it. And welcome to
Welcome to
Eden.
Enon.
My daddy used to live right here.
Comments from the public?
We put down here Burns.
Seeing none, I would entertain a motion and a second to enter into executive session to discuss the employment and compensation of village employees.
So moved.
Second.
It went around here.
Call the roll, please.
177, or 122.
Mrs. Sweet,
Yes.
Ms. Least,
Yes.
Mr. Hannah,
Yes.
Mr. Avery,
Yes.
Mr. Whitaker,
Yes.
Mr. Bear.
Yes.
So we had 200
627.
I think it was
And this will be for elected officials only at this time.
$7:21.
So we need a motion to enter into regular session again.
So moved.
Second.
Call the roll, please.
Ms. Least,
Yes.
Mrs. Sweet,
Yes.
Mr. Bear,
Yes.
Mr. Whitaker,
Yes.
Mr. Avery,
Yes.
Mr. Hannah.
Yes.
We are now back in regular session.
Did you want to say something? Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
It's
Nothing
still
from the
7.
peanut gallery
You're too
out
late.
there.